Welcome back. Homosexuality is a crime in 38 African countries, and new laws in Nigeria and Uganda have increased potential punishments for engaging in gay sex. Now, some gay and transgender Africans are seeking asylum in the United States. As VOA's Carla Babb reports, for many gay and transgender Ugandans, fleeing their country is a matter of life and death.
I can tell you that it's so bad in Uganda. People just don't know what is happening in Uganda.
Nikki Mwanda recently fled his African homeland. He is transgender.
I'm worried about what is happening to my people. But I'm also scared that when I go back, I don't know what will happen to me.
African politics professor Stephen Taylor says back in Uganda, what could happen to him is life in prison.
Which is just as bad as death penalty, particularly considering the conditions in some prisons.
They staged a big prayer next to my mom's house, praying for me to leave the village, saying that I'm bringing homosexuality on the village. I didn't want to leave my people. But this time round, I became so scared. So I left.
The stakes are much higher.
Gay and transgender asylum seekers from Africa turn to lawyers like Jocelyn Dyer with the group Human Rights First.
We're very concerned that now with these really repressive laws, a bad situation is going to be made even worse.
Death threats and police brutality were among the horrors transgender Ugandan Victor Mukasa faced before gaining asylum in the United States less than a year ago.
I have had people lay their hands, men lay their hands on my genitals, chasing the spirit of homosexuality out of me. When you hear the story of people waging war against a particular group of people, this is no different.
The war, as Mukasa calls it, has had its casualties. Ugandan gay rights activist David Kato was murdered in 2011. That's Mukasa at the funeral. He says his mourning quickly turned to fear when anti-gay mobs crashed the service.
We are not going to promote gays.
His friend Monique helped him get a visa and flee with only a suitcase.
I think this was the first day at school.
But they could not get a visa for his adopted daughter, and he had to leave her with a relative.
That's the biggest part of me that I left behind.
Mukasa and Mwanda keep pushing toward a day when they can reunite with loved ones back home.
We're still alive and still passionate about this struggle, and so we shall keep fighting in whichever capacities and wherever we are in the world.
For me, my hope lies in the people of Uganda realizing that we are all Ugandans. And I'm hopeful. But my hope is not much.
For now, Mwanda has months of waiting ahead before he'll know if he can remain safe on American soil.
Well, VOA's Carla Babb joins us now to tell us about more about African gays seeking asylum here in the United States. What an emotional story to cover there.
Yes, thank you for having me on.
Now, what are Nikki Mwanda's chances actually of getting asylum here in the U.S.?
Well, the odds are actually pretty good. In the United States, the latest statistics say that the asylum grant rate is slightly better than 50%.
Did you get to establish about how many people have applied under this kind of reason?
I can't give you an exact number because immigration officials base their statistics on the number of cases, but I can say that last year there were about 45,000 cases, and of those there were about 200 Ugandan nationals in cases. So rights groups do say that that number is expected to rise after the new laws.
And I know Nikki Mwanda is going through the process, but then we have also Victor Mukasa, who we have had on our shows here sometime in the past.
Yes.
What did he tell you about the process himself?
Well, sadly, he said that after all that he went through to get here, the asylum process in the United States was really degrading to him. In fact, I think the words that he used was, it killed my soul.
What did he mean? What happens?
Well, it was so frustrating for him because when you are in the United States as an asylum seeker, you're safe, but you're not authorized to work in this country. So basic needs, food, shelter, he couldn't buy himself because he wasn't authorized to work. So he had to rely on his friends for this. And he's really hoping that the United States will adjust to this process so that while you're waiting this long time to see if you can remain safe here, you can work to provide for yourself.
And of course, this is a challenge facing all asylum seekers. It's not just those who are gay or transgender, isn't it the case?
Oh yes, it's every asylum seeker from all over the world has the same issue.
Carla, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For sharing this with us. While viewers, Carla Babb reporting there.